So in this final portion of the map that we're working on to answer the question as to whether or not Jessica's Law is being followed in our neighborhood, we actually have to find out how many sex offenders in our neighborhood are actually disobeying the law. Now the map we've made, we've created, we have our sex offenders and we have our schools, and we drew our boundaries or our buffers around. But we're not really sure completely how many, because if you look in this map, this particular sex offender, they actually may be okay, but we're not 100% sure. So we're going to run a little bit of an analysis. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to use the selection, and we're going to do select by location. And we want to find out how many sex offenders around the schools, so we use the schools here, and we actually want that are within a distance of 2,000 feet. So we're going to go down here and look are within a distance of source layer, so 2,000 feet, and then we hit apply. And then that's going to select the schools that we need to apply. So we can see on our map that we have a number of schools or number of sex offenders that show up as being living too close to a school. Now what we want to do is we want to rerun the query, but we want to run it for the parks. So in this case, we're going to do the same thing. The only difference is we're going to choose, instead of choosing select features from, we're going to choose add to the currently selected features in. So now we want to find how many sex offenders are within the county parks and are within the source feature of 2,000 feet. So we're going to hit apply. And now we've actually added more sex offenders. And then lastly, we're going to do the exact same thing, add to the currently selected features in sex offenders, and instead of county parks, we are going to choose city parks, are within 2,000 feet of. And then we will finish off and see if anyone else adds. So now we have all of the sex offenders, I'm going to close this, on our map. The ones that are selected are actually the sex offenders that are in violation of Jessica's Law. We want them to be different on our map. So we're going to right mouse click the layer here. We are going to go to Selection, create layer from selected features. Now we have a selected features layer. I'm going to remove the selection. And if you notice now, the sex offenders that have the little dots are actually the sex offenders that are in violation. So I'm going to rename this layer so that I can tell what this is. So these are sex offenders in violation. So now I have, out of all of my sex offenders, I have, let's open the attribute table, 9 of them, 9 out of the total number, 13 sex offenders are in violation. So now I can start to do some statistics and get some percentages to actually find out what percent of the sex offenders in my neighborhood are actually violating the law. The next step that you have to do is then put your map into layout view and then go to the rubric and the outline in Canvas to find out exactly how you should have your map set up. And that's the next piece.